All right. This is the 15 New Things for the New Semester webinar presented by the Distance Education here at West Chester University. My name is Tom Pantazis, and I'm an instructional designer with Distance Education. Over the next 25 minutes or so, we're going to look at 15 new things. So let's get started with number one, and that is eLearn Ready. This is an online readiness assessment tool that we've started recommending. Students answer 40, I guess you'd call them scaled questions. They have six choices from strongly agree to strongly disagree. And then once the students are finished, they get an emailed report back evaluating them across 9 different domains related to online learning readiness. The email that they get also includes tips and videos on how they can be better or how they can improve in different domains. Instructors like yourselves can sign up for a free account, which allows you to generate a link, which you can put in your courses. And if students go to eLearn Ready through that link, you will get aggregated scores for your whole class, as well as a list of the emails that have participated in the assessment. So it's totally free. We even reached out to the people that put this together to make sure we could use it, and they were really excited about that. I definitely would recommend it for students that may be new to online learning. It's kind of a good way for them to get a sense of where they stand and where they're at on some of these softer skills that are important in the online environment. So that's item number one. Number two, our second new thing of this semester is ReadSpeaker. This is provided by the university, and it's an additional step towards trying to make online items a little more accessible for everyone. ReadSpeaker will read the text aloud that is found in Desire to Learn, and it can handle most of the provided file formats. So if you have a Word document or a PDF or a PowerPoint, it should be able to read the text within those as well. This tool is not a true screen reader. However, it's pretty close. It's similar. Another nice feature about this is that users can download an MP3 file to listen to maybe at some other point of a page being read to them. So students that are commuters, that could be very valuable to them. We just did a tech tip about this that went out yesterday on our Twitter and Facebook. So you can find that on our YouTube channel as well. I would encourage you to check that out. It's only, I think, 1.5 minutes long, and it gives you a little quick explanation of this particular tool. All right, number three. I think Shannon's going to see her face on here. So, and since I've been talking for a little while now, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the draw tools, which are to the left of your screen. So go ahead and pick a pen size and a color, and feel free to decorate your colleagues as however you would like. This is a new service that Distance Education has started in the last year. We will create for you a profile video of about 3 to 4 minutes that you can use in your online class to give students a little idea of who you are. If you're interested in having one of these created for you, here is the process. The first step is to contact me, because I'm the one that does them. And I'll email you back with the questions that I ask and kind of work with you to schedule a time where I can come to your office and interview you on camera. And that's step two. It's very relaxed and informal. It takes about 30 minutes. It's about 15 to 20 minutes of conversation back and forth where I ask some questions and you answer. I hope that was you decorating, Shannon, yourself, because that was quite good. And after that, I take the footage back and I edit it down and I get it real concise and tight, and I eliminate all the ums and ahs that you might say. I try to be true to who you are, and I publish that video out so that only you can see it. You get a chance to give me some feedback. And then once you approve it, we release it publicly, and you can use it however you want. And we use it as a way to advertise our amazing distance education faculty here at West Chester. So If you're at all interested in getting this done, just let me know, and I will happily start you down the process. Awesome, Ashley. It's that sending me that email is an important component because I may not remember. Uh, you can see here 5 of the faculty that we've done so far. I think I've done 8 at this point. So it gives you a sense. And if you have any questions about the process, Shannon was the very first one, and you can ask her in the chat how it went. Right now, Kathleen, I am focusing on a distance ed, but if there's some at all potential that you might be a distance ed faculty in the future, I'll do one for you too. I'm not picky. I just have to be able to say like, yes, at some point this is supporting distance ed. All right, that was a lot for that. I'm going to turn draw tools off now. Number 4 is Sarah. And you know what? I'll turn draw tools back on for this too, because this is going to be a very dry topic. So feel free to mark where you were born in the United States or maybe somewhere you've lived. I don't really care, but have fun while you listen to me. In December, distance education joined the State Authorization Reciprocity Agreement, which greatly increased the number of states we were authorized to offer distance education courses in. So yay us. The short version is that states have different regulations governing education, and online education allows students to take classes from anywhere. So this meant that online providers had to be authorized in all these different states, and there were different regulations, and it was a big mess. So Sarah has really streamlined that process and made it a lot easier for us to offer online education throughout the United States. The one thing Sarah does not address is licensure requirements. So if you need to be licensed to be a teacher or a nurse or a dietitian, those still have to be done on a state-by-state basis and sometimes come with different expectations. So you should still touch base with us if you're in a program like that. But that's Sarah. So that's exciting, and it's relatively new. Number 5. One Button Studio. I'm really excited about this. It's a concept originally developed by Penn State. You bring a flash drive, you plug it into the device in the studio, you push a button, and then you are recorded. You can talk like you were lecturing, you could have PowerPoint, you can be showing something on a computer screen. So you do that, and when you're done, you push the button again, and your flash drive has a video file of what just occurred on it. And so you can remove your flash drive and go about your day. You can take that video file and edit it with a video editor or use it as it is. It's totally up to you at that point. We have a room dedicated for it here in Wayne Hall where we're located. We're really excited about it, but the room looks like this. So as you can see, we still need to finish unpacking it and get it set up. We're hoping to be operational soon. So in the meantime, you can come on by Wayne Hall and try out the recording booth. Oh wait, that's not unpacked either. Sad face. But hopefully both those resources will be up and running shortly. I think the recording booth will be back online next week. So we're almost there. And yes, Tim, you can edit the files with Camtasia. So it should be a very easy way for you to get some video generated. Hopefully soon. We're working as fast as we can here to get those things up and running. All right, number 6. Daylight, which I mentioned earlier at the top of the presentation. You're probably going to hear about this a lot, and at least I hope you do. The university is switching to a new look and feel on Desire to Learn sometime in May of 2018. It's called Daylight, and as someone who's had a chance to be in it a little bit and using it, I think all the faculty are really going to like it a lot. It has a much cleaner interface. It works a lot better on mobile devices than our current interface, which I like to call legacy. And everything you know how to do in D2L right now, you will still be able to do and use in Daylight. So you're not going to have to learn anything new. With one tiny exception being how you access courses is going to change just a tiny little bit. If you look on the screen, on the left side of the screen, the whiter version, there's 4 courses listed right there. They each have their own image, which looks really sharp. And you will, as faculty, be able to pick your own image if you want to, and we'll have some training on that. Uh, so that how you get into courses is changing just a tiny little bit. We are going to offer training opportunities throughout the year, probably one virtual and one face-to-face each month. If you attend any of those trainings or other informal training, as long as you get some sort of training, we'll give you access to what we're calling Sneak Peek, and that will let you just try it out and get a sense of what it's like. So if you're interested in that, be on the lookout for all of that. And I want to stress this again, if you're a distance education instructor and you have distance education courses, you really should talk to your instructional designer about what your course needs to be done to your course for the transition to daylight. Everything's still going to work, but there are some things that will work better if we make some adjustments to it. And because everybody's courses are very unique, we really want distance education faculty to touch base with their instructional designer. I'm talking to you, Shannon. Um, you know where to find me. So please do reach out to your designer at some point here in the next academic year so that we can make sure you're ready to rock when that switch occurs. All right, number 7. So I let everyone draw on faculty, so it's only fair that you can now draw on me. So the draw tools are on. Feel free to give me some decoration. So while not necessarily new, this tool, which is called Zoom, has been selected to replace everyone's favorite synchronous tool to complain about, Blackboard Collaborate. So starting next academic year, we will no longer have Blackboard Collaborate. We will have Zoom, which you can use. The great thing about Zoom is that you can get a free account right now if you want to kind of play with it a little bit. Free accounts are limited to 45-minute meetings of more than 2 people, and there is a person limit on the number of people you can have in a room for a free account. So my recommendation, if you want to try this out a little bit, is to use it for those like one-on-one meetings with students or for small group meetings or something along those lines, just to get some practice with that. Adobe Connect will be available for a little while, but my guess is that we will phase that one out as well to try to be on a consistent system. But there's nothing officially decided about that yet. So we'll let you know when we know. I've been using Zoom on and off for about 4 years, and I will say I'm pretty happy with it. It does a lot of things. It's easy to use. No, Shannon, the paid account is not 45 minutes. The paid account is forever. You go for however long you need to, and there's no limit to the number of people in the paid account. And when we finally get it officially, it'll be integrated into D2L similarly to how Blackboard is right now. So it's going to be really great when we get there. If you want to get some comfort with it ahead of time, kind of to get a jump start, I would encourage you to try out that free account. You need to meet with a colleague, but you don't want to physically be in the same space. This is a great way to do it. Yes, Ashley, I'm totally with you on that, and thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate that. Um, you can record stuff. It's easy. Like I'm definitely a fan. I'm glad we're moving in that direction. So, all right. Thank you all for my lovely decorations. I appreciate it. I look wonderful. Number 8, iBooks author. So we're starting a new iBook initiative this year where somewhere around 5 lucky faculty members will be selected to write a digital textbook and get compensated for, I think it's 1.5 credits worth of compensation. So if you teach a 3-credit class, whatever you get paid for that, have it, and that's what the compensation would be. If this first cohort goes well, I think we're going to look to try to expand it next year. If you're not familiar with Interactive Touch iBooks, I encourage you to check out our upcoming webinar next week, where our resident expert will touch base on what that process looks like and talk about this a little bit. Oh, thanks, Shannon. So there you go, 3,000. I guess they put a definitive number on it. I haven't actually seen the final application, although I know it went out sometime within the last couple days. You can also check out, if you want to get a sense of what a book is like, Mark Drum's 10 Ways Teachers Tame Twitter, which is award-winning iBook, I might add. You can download that for free to get a sense of what you can do with these. I am personally really excited about this because I think it provides a significant amount of flexibility to faculty to be able to put forward content that they want to put forward and not be limited to only using certain parts of a textbook from a publishing company. So I'm really excited to see where this goes, and I hope you'll consider applying. And if you have questions, Mark Drum is the guy to talk to. You don't have to apply to our cohort to still do this. You just won't get paid for it. So I'm always in favor of extra money. So, check it out. Think about applying. Number 9, um, H5P. I don't know if I would say this is totally new because we did talk about it last year, but I think a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with this website. It's h5p.org, I believe. You just Google H5P, you'll find it. Free website that allows you to develop your own HTML5 based interactive elements, which can be embedded into D2L pages pretty easily. There's 35 plus different types of things that you can do, and I tried to capture them all here on the screen so that you can look at it. Thank you, Shannon, for sharing how awesome it is. If you've taken any of our online self-paced workshops that I've put together, I usually use a mix and match type thing for vocabulary. It's just a little bit more engaging in the sense that you have to actually click and drag and move some things around. Definitely encourage you to check that out if you're interested, and I'm happy to answer questions about that later on if you're exploring it and not sure how it works. But I know there's some English faculty that are using it beyond Shannon too, so encourage you to look into that one. Number 10. So this little guy that you see in front of you right here is a Ricoh Theta S 360-degree video camera. It's one of 2 360-degree video cameras that we have here in distance education as part of our efforts to explore virtual and augmented reality. This little guy captures the video all around you, and it also catches the sound. And then when you watch the video on a 360 video viewer like YouTube, you can load 360 videos to YouTube. You as the person watching gets to determine where in the video you're looking. So where in that sphere you want to look. There's some really cool opportunities with this type of video, especially to take students to places they might not get to go otherwise. For example, in the nutrition, you can take them into a professional kitchen and kind of talk about some different things, and they can look around. That's a little bit different than that static two-dimensional view that we're accustomed to. I mentioned this camera and these opportunities because I'm interested in exploring how we can use this educationally in face-to-face, blended, or online classes. So if you're at all interested or have an idea, come talk to me and we can see what we can figure out in terms of creating or making some things that can help improve the educational experience. It could definitely be helpful for classroom observations. I even like the idea of recording some active classes from an educational standpoint and then having students watch them and try to work on classroom management things. The one challenge being you have to have permission for everyone that you've recorded. But yeah, that could definitely work too. There is a streaming ability. I haven't figured that out yet. Yes, Ashley, you could do that where you would set it up and live stream it, and then you would have ability to watch the classroom a little better. Um, I haven't actually done it, but I know the capability exists with some technical things that have to be checked out. Students cannot get access to our cameras yet. We're not at a point where we're ready to lend anything out. It's all like I have to go with it at this point. But if we try some things out and come up with some ideas, there may be some money out there that we can find to get it for you. We have some ways to do that. They're not that expensive when you consider what it's doing. I mean, they are $300 to $400 cameras, so it's not cheap, but that's doable in the right circumstances. All right, number 11, continuing with the theme of 360, there's apps for your phone now that let you take 360 pictures with just a regular cell phone. One of them is a Street View, so you can capture 360 environments, and the other one allows you to capture just 360 photographs that you can then use in something like a Google Cardboard. which is this guy right here, which you put your phone in and then you can look around. Both these apps are from Google, and I heard just the other day that Facebook is getting ready to put something into their mobile app to do the same thing. So this is a very easy way to take some baby steps into augmented reality and virtual reality. So, and it should be fairly easy to incorporate considering most people have phones. So definitely something that you might want to think about, it really would depend on your discipline, but where can you bring in that idea of being able to look completely around in 360 into your instruction? And again, I can help you with that if you have questions. All right, number 12. Twine.org is a branching simulation tool that is very easy to use. It's free, it's web-based, you don't need an account, and you can create branching simulations, which you can import directly into D2L, or you might have students create a branching simulation and share with each other. A great tool to use if case studies where like, what would you do? You can set something up like that. You can even work from a writing standpoint and telling stories, choose your own adventure stories could be done this way. This tool is not new by any means. It's been around for at least 8 years, but it's fairly simple to use. Its lack of requirements from an account standpoint can make it a good one for some projects. So think about that moving forward. How could you incorporate those opportunities for students to make a choice? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And how that you can use that as a teaching technique to help them practice those decision-making skills in whatever discipline it is that you're teaching. So I encourage you to check that one out if you're interested in going down that road. Number 13 is Slack, which is a message tool that works by integrating lots of different communication tools into one interface. Distance education has seen faculty primarily using this for discussion style activities. It does take a little getting used to, so I would strongly encourage you to try it out ahead of time before using it with students and just make sure you're comfortable as you move forward. This is not one to go, ooh, let me try it with students. I will say if you do start to incorporate it in any way, it's beneficial because a lot of industry is using this now. So you're helping prepare students for workforce that they might be going into. It allows for group conversations, whole class conversations, individual one-on-one conversations. You can bring in files, you can bring in video. There's lots of different ways that this incorporates discussion. So that might be something you want to check out. Number 14, getting close to the end here. Okay, this one's called Create Debate. It's a simple, free, web-based debate hosting tool that allows students to participate in both sides of an argument and then vote for the side that they think won or that they are most in favor of. A nursing faculty member here at West Chester uses this tool in her online courses, and she shared about it at our technology showcase in May. It has some really nice features related to debate to really help students get engaged with some potentially controversial subjects or things where it's difficult to come down one way or the other. It is a little ad heavy, so just be aware of that. It has a few ads on it. And it does look like it was built in the late 90s, so if you can get past those things, we do think it still can be a pretty effective tool. So they do different debates on their homepage. The day I went to take the screen capture was shortly after Charlottesville, so I was like, I think I need to wait a few days before I take a screen capture. This one's a little bit more tame, but be aware of that too as well, that there can be some very interesting things on the homepage. Now, if you set up your own section and direct students to it, they wouldn't necessarily have to go through the homepage. And that's a great question, Kathleen. I'm not sure if there can be more than 2 sides. I think there can, based on what I understand, but I would want to dig into that a little bit. So if this sounds like something you might be interested in, you could look into that a little bit. The alternative is you can set up a discussion board in D2L and just have different topics, and then there's a way to vote within that. So you don't need this tool to do something like that, but it's out there. It's an option. All right, I think we're on to 15. Last one. I'm pretty much right on time, which is awesome. I saved the best for last, and that's live slides. It's a tool that allows you to insert inside of a PowerPoint presentation a slide that will take you out to a web browser without needing to actually go out of your presentation. So if you've ever given a presentation where you've linked to an outside website, you know what I'm talking about, where you click the link and a new browser opens and you look, and when you're done you close it and then you have to get back into your presentation. Live Slides eliminates all that. So now you can go out to that YouTube video without having to open a new window or close your PowerPoint presentation. You can go out to a website without needing to close it. It'll play right in the frame. You do need to download free software to your computer if you're going to use it, and that software is what inserts the slide into your presentation. And when your presentation is running, you do have to have Live Slides running in the background in order for it to work. I've used it a few times. I've been pretty happy with it. One piece of advice, though, is don't go out to websites where you have to do a lot of clicking with the keyboard, because PowerPoint is still running and still responding to keyboard commands. So like if you hit the arrow key, it's going to go to the next slide. So I would really use it primarily for things where you're just going to do clicking, and that should be fine. I used it a little bit at Recap this past year, so if you were there. Ashley, I do think it works pretty well with PowerPoint. It's more about where you're going that matters, I think. And I've used it on both Mac and PC, and it does a pretty good job. So it's definitely worth looking into. One thing I've noticed sometimes, though, when you're going out to the website is you'll see this image that's on the slide right now where it'll say Live Slides web content, and it'll hang there for a second or two, and then it'll load wherever it is that you're going. But my colleague Mark Drum introduced it. He's used it a few times. I've used it a few times. We're pretty happy with it in terms of how it's operating, with the caveats that I already mentioned in mind. So that was 15 new things for the start of the new semester, and I did it in 30 minutes. Yay me. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask them either through microphone or through chat, and I will get to them. Here is my contact information. I noticed that I think someone has already emailed me about Faculty Focus, which is great, and I'll get that set up. I appreciate you being here, and thank you for coming. Does anyone need credit for online faculty development program? If you do, please just say, please give me credit, or I do is perfect, Kathleen, and I will go take care of that here in a few minutes. I'm assuming it's for the most recent OFD, which was summer 2. So if it was for summer 1, I need to know that, because otherwise I'll get into summer 2 and be like, I'm very confused. I don't see your name. But I appreciate it. Ashley, Kathleen, and Shannon, thank you so much. I'm going to end the recording now.